anime is not unfamiliar with the ideas of Christmas and Santa Claus. Regardless of genre or tone, this specific holiday has almost always been given a special anime episode for as far as anyone can remember. Keeping that in mind, it was only a matter of time before the cheerful Santa Claus evolved into a full-fledged anime protagonist, complete with superhuman abilities and transformation sequences. Prime Video's newest anime, Sanda, is also based on the manga of the same name by Beastar's author Paru Itagaki. After being fatally stabbed by a classmate in Sanda, a regular adolescent lad discovers that he has the ability to become Santa Claus. Sanda is far more than a single joke, despite the oddity of its inciting event. Indeed, it may prove to be the surprise hit of the fall of 2025's teen drama and mystery anime. With regards to immersing audiences in its universe and narrative, Sanda Episode 1 doesn't squander a single moment. In the first minute of the episode, Fuyumura attempts to kill her classmate Sanda for reasons that are only known to her. Even after the episode returns to its narrative after the opening credits and so on, this rapid pacing and life-or-death stakes continue. It turned out that Fuyumura had to use force to turn Sanda into Santa Claus by stabbing him. In such a limited amount of time, Sanda excels at introducing its premise and setting up the stakes for the characters. Sanda's abilities are similarly displayed and used throughout the episode, with a lovely list appearing at the bottom of the screen. Fuyumura needs Santa Claus abilities to locate her deceased buddy, Ono, as is shown before the episode's midpoint. In the meantime, Sanda is hesitant to assist Fuyumura since he first wants to keep his family's lineage to Santa Claus and their capacity for transformation into him a secret. All of these introductions and discoveries are balanced with realistic, thrilling action in a darkly comedic way in the first episode of Sanda. Because Fuyumura poses a real threat to the class and herself, Sanda is compelled to use his talents, but out of the goodness of his heart, he chooses to assist her. Of his heart because he and Santa Claus can't bear to see a kid weep. The fact that these events and interpersonal encounters expose a lot of nuanced and foreboding information about Sanda's bizarre world is even more noteworthy. The story of Sanda takes place in a society where Christmas is an antiquated custom that youngsters only learn about from their parents. Perhaps this is one of the reasons why Sanda wants to keep his lineage and skills a secret. It will be fascinating to watch where Sanda goes next and what other secrets its environment holds. Sanda Episode 1 hardly allows its characters or introductory events any breathing room at its worst, but this is a little issue when one of the most thrilling and fast-paced premieres of fall 2025 is trade-off. At the age of 14, Sanda is still a little lad who wants to maintain his attractiveness and youth for as long as he can. However, in order to help Fuyumura, whom he is also in love with, he must now change into the burly and stern Santa Claus. Even though Fuyumura murdered him once and then threatened their class with a bomb strapped to her body. As ridiculous and wonderfully charming as it may seem, this is Sanda's primary internal conflict. The first episode of Sanda establishes the character well and predicts greater things to come. Sanda the first episode also does a great job of using the contrasts between Sanda and Santa Claus, both physically and internally, for humor and even drama. As Santa Claus, Sanda transforms into an older, more mature version of himself, who cannot help but be irritated by Fuyumura's youthful tenacity. Nonetheless, his compassion remains unaffected by this change. The beginning of a fascinating character journey for Sanda. It will be fascinating and enjoyable to observe whether or not he succeeds in bringing his younger self into harmony with his older metamorphosis. However, Sanda takes on a more passive role in his first anime. Even though Sanda is the titular character of the anime, he is not the one who causes the events of the episode. Fuyumura has that responsibility, and she goes to great lengths to murder Sanda in order for the genuine story of the anime to begin. This is fair since, regardless of the situation, Sanda doesn't want to share his secret. But for the majority of Sanda Episode 1, Sanda is reduced to a walking plot instrument due to his original reluctance. Since she initiates the plot's events, Fuyumura is the main character, at least for the first episode of Sanda. Furthermore, she speaks for Sanda more than he does for himself. Sanda's internal dialogues center on his terror and anger, whereas Fuyumura analyzes and deduces the situation. Additionally, her urgent need to locate Ono or at least determine if she is truly dead outweighs Sanda's wish for normalcy. Fuyumura is currently the central figure in Sanda, but the next episode will probably clarify who the true focal character is. This doesn't imply that Fuyumura is a terrible character who isn't worthy of the limelight. It would have been alright if Sanda had paid attention to her from the start. The main issue is that Sanda Episode 1 attempts to portray its narrative from both Fuyumura and Sanda's points of view, giving the impression that's somewhat more indecisive than planned. To be sure, Fuyumura is a truly fascinating figure, and an unexpected but nevertheless welcome change of pace for female anime characters. In general, female anime characters fit into a very rigid mold. They are intentionally created and written to be very delicate love interests for their male co-star. Despite breaking these clichés, some stereotypes still remain. For instance, even if they appear bold, tomboyish girls in anime are still kind. This condescending manner of writing female anime characters persists even in today's improved and more liberal society. On the other hand, Fuyumura is far from any of these antiquated stereotypes. At first glance, Fuyumura's actions and gender roles don't fit the norm in anime. Because violence is the most direct and efficient means of achieving results, she uses it as a tall, skinny adolescent. Her capacity to swiftly figure out what's happening demonstrates that she has a keen intellect and intuition. Additionally, since her affections appear to be exclusive to Ono, she has no romantic interest in Sanda. With all of this, Fuyumura is one of the most promising female anime protagonists for the fall of 2025. Given that Paru Itagaki both wrote and drew Sanda, it shouldn't be all that unexpected. Itagaki's approach to sexuality and her style of character creation are anything but typical, as seen in Beastars. She consistently uses the most fascinating and original methods to break the conventions of manga and anime in order to produce characters that are both lifelike and emotionally relatable. Although Fuyumura may be somewhat more down-to-earth than any of Beastars' anthropomorphic characters, she is no less fascinating or likable than any of them. Thanks to the stunningly animated blockbuster hit Dandadan, most anime enthusiasts are now familiar with Science Saru. With the amazing animation of Dandadan Season 2, Science Saru has once again demonstrated that it is one of the best, if not the best, anime studios currently in operation. Fans of Dandadan will be thrilled that the third season of their favorite anime is only a year away at the very least. To be aware that Science Saru just graced fall 2025 with Sanda. However, it's important to temper our expectations for the animation. Science Saru's filmmaking and animation techniques are noticeably distinct from Dandadan, though this does not mean that they missed the mark in Sanda. First of all, Sanda's images are much more realistic. Fuyumura's knife strikes are drawn and aimed to be as intense and brutal as they should be, even if they are performed for humorous effect. Although Sanda may not have Dandadan's aesthetic appeal and dynamic style, it is still just as exciting. When Sanda turns into Santa Claus, it's the only time Science Saru releases its distinctive, untamed animation. These displays of artistic skill have a significant impact on the viewer and the plot in Sanda Episode 1 because they are so uncommon. Science Saru complements this by producing amazing and powerful animation that literally breaks the reality of the anime. In anime, not to mention animation overall, Santa Claus has never seemed this formidable, powerful, or heroic. Beyond its unique Christmas-themed plot, Sanda is developing into a genuinely intriguing mystery anime and an offbeat coming-of-age story. It's also evident that Santa Claus is far more than a joke, given that he's a superpowered urban legend. The other effects of this Santa Claus's simple existence, such as on holidays and other Christmas characters, will be interesting to observe. Even if supporters may have anticipated a wholesome Christmas-themed anime episode or series, Sanda should be watched out for precisely for that reason. Prime Video is now broadcasting Sanda. Hope you like this video. Stay tuned in this channel for latest upcoming updates on this series. And add a bookmark in this channel for further upcoming updates on movies, anime, and web series. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, please like, comment, and share our channel. And for latest updates, please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon.